Buenos tardes, mga amigos, mga amigas, mga kumpanyeros, kumpanyeras. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, Attorney Rene Bueno. Ngayon po ay pag-uusapan po natin itong isang provision sa ilalim ng ating Revised Penal Code. In particular, ito po ay tungkol sa Article 282 of the Revised Penal Code. Ito po ay ating pag-uusapan at ile-lecture natin sa inyo sapagkat nitong isang araw ay kumalat ang isang video nag-trending na kung saan nakunan nung February 23 pa yata to, si Congressman Pulong Duterte na nagkaroon ng mainit na pakikipagpalitan ng salita, no, at nauwi sa headbutting, nauwi sa pag-unday-unday ng saksak, although yung pagsaksak naman ay hindi yung matulis na part ng kutsilyo, kundi yung handle or hawakan ng kutsilyo ang inuunday doon sa tagiliran ng nagrereklamo sa Office of the City Prosecutor. At bukod dito, ayon sa salaysay ng nagrereklamo, sa loob daw ng bar ay nagpatuloy ang pagsampal, pagsipa, pagsuntok sa kanya, at sa bawat sampal at suntok ay may kapalit namang 1,000 piso. Kung kaya lamang 2 oras yun, according to the complaint, 2 oras, no, sampal dahil lasing na lasing daw itong si Congressman Pulong Duterte. At ang pinagawayan yata ay tungkol dito sa mga escort girls ang tawag dito, yung mga paupahan na mga babae dyan sa mga bar dyan sa Davao City. At ang tanong sa akin ng mga subscribers and viewers natin ay ano ba ang dapat na isampang kaso kay Congressman Pulong Duterte kung merong sapat na ebidensya. Dahil dito sa video makikita nyo nga ini-headbutt siya yung nagreklamo at inuundayan ng saksak, although hindi matulis na part. At according to him, pagdating sa loob, ay nagpatuloy ang sampal, suntok, tadyak sa kanya ni Congressman Pulong Duterte. So, according to the news, magsasampa ng kasong grave threats, no, against kay Pulong Duterte. So, grave threats lang ba ang pwedeng isampa? Or there will be another crime, no, that will be filed against Congressman Pulong Duterte? So ipaliwanag muna natin, ano ba yung Article 282 na kung tawagin natin ay grave threats. So para mag-constitute to at mag-prosper yung reklamong isinampa for grave threats, dapat tingnan natin kung present yung essential elements ng krimen ng grave threats. Ang number 1 essential element nito na tinatawag ay yung dapat yung threat must be clear, unequivocal, na meron talagang pagbabanta na mag-inflict ng harm against the person, the victim's honor or the property or that of the family of the victim or the complainant. This threat must be clearly communicated doon sa biktima o kaya doon sa nagrereklamo. The threat may be in the form of in writing, verbal, or through actions that leave no doubt as to the intent. So yun, no, dapat ma-communicate sa'yo very clearly, no, either in writing, verbal, or through actions, no, na talaga namang binabantaan ka. Yung iyong pagkatao, yung iyong karangalan, yung iyong ari-arian, at maging yung mga miyembro ng pamilya. Ando dun yung threat, no? Okay, the threatened harm must be a crime. It must constitute as a crime. Like for instance, sinabi sa'yo, papatayin kita, kaya gugulpihin kita, lulumpuhin kita, susunugin ko yung bahay mo. So, yan, those things constitute as a crime. So, yun yung second element na tinatawag natin, no? Yung simpleng pang-aasar lang, hindi yun pwede, no? At hindi papasok yun as an element of the crime. Dapat yung pananakot must constitute as a crime, no? At dapat nandoon din yung intent to intimidate no, may clear intention of causing harm or fear, no, to the victim. Yung casual remark na dagukan kita diyan eh. Hindi pa pwede 'yon, no? Dapat may talagang may intent to seriously intimidate the person, the complainant or the victim. Okay, so itong panghuli, dapat yung threat must be made without, no, immediate execution. Walang immediate execution. Dapat it must be a future harm, no, against the victim or the property of the complainant. Pero if there will be an immediate execution of the harm, then there will be an escalation of the situation. Magpapalit yung nature of the crime doon. Hindi na siya magiging grave threat. But the grave threat will still remain, but it will be leveled now as an intent, no, evidence of intent on the part of the accused, at magiging depending on the severity of the injury, magiging physical injuries yan. Kasi alam nyo, yung grave threats, mababaw lang ang penalty dyan. Ang pagkakalam ko dyan, if I'm not mistaken, the maximum will be 6 months. But if it will be accompanied by a more serious crime like physical injuries. Palagay mo, may panaksa kasi, sinuntok, tinadyakan for 2 hours, definitely, it will incapacitate the victim, the complainant, to more than 30 days. Hindi makakapagtrabaho yun kung ganun bugbugin ka ng 2 oras. Tapos may hawak pang kutsilyo yung nagbanta sa buhay mo. And definitely, that would be leveled as serious physical injuries. If that is serious physical injuries, no, ay yung grave threats, mag-escalate yan, at ang penalty kasi ay madadagdagan from a maximum of 6 months only sa grave threats. Ayan ay magkakaroon ng minimum of 12 years and 1 day to maximum of 20 years. Ang tawag niyan reclusion temporal under the revised penal code. So tataas yung penalty involved kapag nagkaroon ng serious physical injuries on the part of the victim or the complainant. Okay, so yun ang importante doon. When the threat is followed by immediate action like kicking, slapping, tinadya ka, inundayan ka ng saksak, ay magkakaroon ng separate charges for the accused. Instead of grave threats lang yan, magkakaroon ng serious physical injuries of which the penalty is higher as compared with grave threats na 6 months maximum, yung serious physical injuries minimum 12 years and 1 day to a maximum of 20 years or reclusion temporal. Pag ganyan kasi yung period from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, ang tawag niyan sa ilalim ng Kodigo Penal ay reclusion temporal. So mabigat-bigat yung kaso. Dapat may ebidensya dito yung nagrereklamo na talaga namang naging incapacitated siya to perform his regular work na for more than 30 days at talagang kaya natanggalan ng daliri, natanggalan ng isang tenga, na bulag partially, okay, na pilay, na disabled, iika-ika na for 30 days, hindi makakapagtrabaho, ay yun, ay magiging serious physical injuries yun, and that would increase the amount of penalty that may be imposed against the accused in this case. Okay? So, ano pa ba ang pag-uusapan natin tungkol doon? So, the crime of grave threats is serious but it becomes more serious when it is accompanied by serious physical injuries kapag yung grave threat is accompanied by a immediate action which is serious physical injuries. Kasi kung ang balang, sinabihan lang gugulpihin kita, sinabihan lang pipilayang kita, grave threats. Pero kung walang kung walang immediate action. But if it is accompanied by immediate action, katulad ng nakita natin sa video, ay ba hini-headbutt na gano'n, parang sumo wrestler no? Tapos inuundayan ng saksak doon sa tagiliran. Tapos dinala daw, according to the complaint, dinala doon sa loob ng bar. At nagpatuloy ang pananakit. Pag may ebidensya yan, pag nagsabit yan ng medical records or any type of evidence that would prove the injuries, magiging serious physical injuries yan, but the grave threats will remain as part of a strong evidence against the accused. Okay? Okay, so, pero yung serious physical injuries, pwedeng maging less serious yan or pwedeng maging slight. It will be all dependent on the severity of the injury. Pag less than 30 days lang na hindi makakapasok yan, magiging less serious yun. O kaya pag less than 10 days, magiging slight lang yon. So, although, mas mataas pa din yung penalty kung less serious as compared with grave threats, no? Okay, so ito yung simplified overview natin sa crime of grave threats that would escalate or that would be elevated doon sa crime na serious physical injuries kapag nagkaroon talaga ng evidence of injuries. Yung injuries is maglalas for more than 30 days. So yan yon. So yung link ipoprovide ko dito sa ibaba para makita ninyo yung paano yung nangyari do sa sitwasyon. Kasi after nung ini-headbutt na ni Congressman Pulong Duterte yung biktima, ay meron pumunta doon sa reception area at binunot yata yung saksakan ng CCTV. So naputol doon. So in continuation, according na doon sa salaysay nung complainant doon sa CIDG at sa Office of the City Prosecutor. Kaya nga lamang, hindi ko alam kung pinail to sa Davao City. Kung sa Davao City to ay magagamit ng mga Duterte influensya nila. Siguro ang biktima ay kailangang mag-request sa Department of Justice to transfer the venue of the case from Davao City. Dali mo na lang dito sa Manila. Pwede naman yon if there is serious threat against your person. No? Baka mamaya sinabi, papatay kita. Pag tinuloy mo yan, that is a justifiable reason for the Justice Department na ilipat yung venue of your case from Davao City to Metro Manila or Manila City. Okay? So, sana po nakapagbigay uli ako sa inyo ng additional knowledge about the crime of grave threats at itong serious physical injuries and making this trending video of Congressman Pulong Duterte as an example kung paano mag-escalate yung sitwasyon, paano madadagdagan yung penalty from the simple case of grave threats na 6 months ang penalty maximum at mag-escalate siya from a minimum of 12 years and 1 day to a maximum of 20 years or otherwise known as reclusion temporal. So, ito po ay educational discussion itong ginagawa natin para madagdagan ang ating kaalaman at and not for anything else. It will not this discussion does not constitute as a legal advice to those who are involved in this case or those who are similarly situated. Okay, so hanggang dito na lamang po. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, Attorney Rene Bueno. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.